In 1996, Fuji-Q Highland built the king of coasters. No matter how you cut it, complete circuit, shuttle, it didn't matter. At 259 feet, Fujiyama was the tallest coaster in the world. Designed by Morgan and built by TOGO, this was also one of the longest coasters in the world at over 6,700 feet, and it cost a staggering 5.9 billion yen. That was about $59 million back in 1996. Expensive, record-breaking, some even say iconic. But is this monstrosity actually good? I got the Fuji-Q Highland last month and got 2 rides, and I gotta say, this ride is something else. This is my official review and ranking of Fujiyama. First, I want to thank my Patreons and my new member, Shellington and Turnip are otters. If you want bonus access, bonus content, behind the scenes videos, a shout out when you join, and your name on this fancy Patreon screen, follow the link below and join. When you pull into the Fuji-Q parking lot, you're greeted by this monster double out and back coaster, and right away you can tell it looks weird. The flat track at the top of the lift, the awkward double up, the unrefined transitions, it looks like a mess. But it's that chaos that makes the ride what it is, and makes it one of the most bizarre ride experiences of my life. When you enter the park, Fujiyama is the first coaster you see, just down the path and to the left. You wind your way up the ramp to the station, and on that final stretch of the platform, you're assigned a row. Like most coasters in Japan, you aren't allowed to pick your row. You can try to make it so people cut in front of you, and you can try to get the front or the back. But if you do that, just know this happens not in the station, but on the ramp leading up to it. I didn't play any games, I just took the row they assigned me, and I ended up with 4 and 8. The train has 14 rows, so I never ended up anywhere near the back. Once you're in the station, you scan your face to ride. Fuji-Q scans your face when you walk in, and that's how they know how you paid to ride the rides. Then you get wanded down by the ride ops, making sure you have nothing in your pockets, and then you go to your assigned row. All this takes forever when you have 14 rows, 28 riders, and the train ends up sitting in the station for a long time. The ops going through this whole dog and pony show, but get used to it, that's how Japan is. And it's really something we take for granted in America. Imagine the hassle of getting on Steel Vengeance and Velocicoaster, and expand that to just about every major ride in the country. Once the gates open, you cross the station and put your stuff in a locker. These are the lockers where you take your key, wrap it around your wrist, and hold onto it while you ride. This is a good system. The only way to open these lockers is with the key. No chance of a computer malfunctioning and someone stealing your stuff. So I really can't complain. You sit down and find your lap bar. Yes, lap bar. After riding Bandit that week, I was afraid all the big non-looping coasters had over-the-shoulder restraints. But this just has a giant lap bar, a huge pad like an airbag on top, so that's weird. But in the end, this was a nice lap bar. The ride ops don't staple you, it's pretty comfortable. So this was one of my favorite restraints in the country. Let's go over this layout before analyzing it. You make a left U-turn out of the station and head up that enormous 259-foot lift. At one point, you pass a sign showing the 79-meter world record height. Flatten out, turn to the right, hit some drive tires that push the train to the edge, over the 230-foot, 65-degree drop. It rises back up to turn around, wrapping around the Fujiyama observation tower, down another drop and into your first camelback. Make another U-turn, dive down and into a double up. This leads into a gradual swooping turn that gets low, turns 180 degrees and rises back up. Straightens out and dives down to another horseshoe turn, and finally you dive down to the ground level. You pop up into a high-speed U-turn and rise up into the ride's grand finale. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 of these off-axis airtime hills, before rising high up into the final brakes. That ends your 103 seconds of prime ride time, equal to 1 minute and 43 seconds. As you can see, this layout isn't super inspired. A lot of turns, not too many hills till the end, some weird elements that make you wonder what Morgan and TOGO were thinking. And by the end, you're wondering why you're laughing so hard and why you want to get back on it. It really isn't that good. Some might even say it's bad, but never have I seen a coaster that fits this bill so perfectly. It's so bad, it's good. A lot like Bandit, it's just hilarious. You're barreling through these elements at 80 miles an hour, wondering what the heck is going on, getting thrown side to side, up and down. This ride certainly is anything but boring. Some people compare it to Goliath at Magic Mountain, not having a lot of hills, having shallow angles in the drops, but where Goliath is nice and smooth and refined, Fujiyama is a chaotic mess. And as long as you have a little tolerance for a ride that's gonna knock you around a bit, you're gonna love this. It's so different, almost like trying to survive a backyard coaster, if that backyard can handle a 259-foot tall, 6,700-foot long coaster. Let's talk about the elements and how they ride. Remember, I got the ride in row 4 and row 8, and I imagine a back row ride in this would have been amazing. But in Japan, you gotta take what you can get. 65 degrees in that first drop isn't very steep. That's 4 degrees steeper than Goliath. And where I got 0 airtime on the first drop on that ride, I got some decent airtime in row 4, and even better airtime in row 8. It's not just the extra 4 degrees, it's that tire drive at the top of the lift, giving that train an extra boost over the drop, and making it better for everyone. That first turnaround is high off the ground, but the train rips into it. You get to wave to everyone in the Fujiyama tower, but don't have a lot of time to soak it in. You're heading down that next drop very quickly. There wasn't any airtime on this for me, but on that first big camelback, that's where you get your first legit airtime moment all over the train. I imagine this was more sustained in the back, but you still get a nice sharp pop in the front and the middle. From this point on, you start running into those famous janky TOGO transitions, and at the speed you're going, it's kinda scary. You aren't sure how the train's gonna handle it, what it's gonna do to your body, and that danger adds to Fujiyama's mystique. That next U-turn has a janky entrance but a nice exit, and then you see this ridiculous incline into the double up, yonking you to the left as it climbs up, giving you little pops of airtime, barreling into that turn that swoops down and back up, rattling all the way through. That next U-turn having some weird profiling, and I gotta say, you see the weird track work from a mile away, and you're just thinking, oh god, this is not what the track should look like. Why was TOGO even allowed to do this? And as you're traversing these high turns, you're also getting tossed out of your seat, while shaking and rattling and rolling through, heading into the high-speed U-turn that, although you're going quite fast at this point, is kind of the calm before the final storm. It uses all that speed for the finale, and this is by far the most insanely ridiculous finale of any coaster I've ever ridden. I described it as Magnum, if Magnum was several beers into the night. 7 years before Fujiyama opened, Aero built Magnum, known for its finale of triangle-shaped airtime hills running in a straight line, and in a past video, I called it the best finale of any coaster that I've ridden. I don't know if Fujiyama's is better, but it's absolutely more absurd. You hit 4 sharp twisted hills, left, right, and just when you think you're done, dive down to the ground and up into one more twisted hill to the left. I swear on every hill, I was flying out of the corner of my seat. I felt like I was wedged between my lap bar and the side of the train or the seat divider on every hill. Mind you, they don't staple you, so you're legit out of your seat on each one. It's anything but pure airtime, but it is airtime that will make you fear for your life. One more rise into the brake run, and all you can do is laugh. On both rides, I was just cracking up at the end. Like, what even was that? The first ride caught me off guard. I had no idea about that finale, and for the second ride, I was ready, but the ride was equally hilarious. Okay, now for the hard part. How do I rank such a fun but poorly designed coaster? This is like one of those terrible movies that aren't going to win any awards, but you watch it because it's just ridiculous and fun. I say, it's the Sharknado of roller coasters. It's the Naked Gun of roller coasters. It doesn't take itself seriously, but the audience is happy, and in the end, coasters are all about having fun. Fujiyama was the most fun coaster in the park, even if it wasn't the best. I'm putting this in my top 50. Yes, a TOGO inside my top 50. And I'm slotting this at number 36. It's something I would ride all day if I had time, and it's too bad I only had time for 2 rides that day. It was that much fun. One of the most insane coasters on the planet, an absolute behemoth, combining speed with TOGO transitions, but has the right trains to make it fun and not painful. Fujiyama is unlike any coaster I've ever ridden on this planet, and it should be on your bucket list if you haven't been out to Japan.
We just rode Fujiyama. Nix plural. What was that?
That second half was...
The second half was demented.
Yeah. Not bad though.
That was, no, not bad, but that might have been the craziest second half of any coaster I've ever ridden, ever. And that includes Magnum. Magnum's more controlled. That was like, who designed the Magnum airtime with the insane bad TOGO transitions with the laterals?
At least it's just a lap bar.
At least it's just a lap bar, and I did not get stapled. I was flying. So, I think we need to get back on that again at some point, but, Ajinaika? Ajinaika.
So, there you go. Let me know what you think about this ride. If you've ridden it, if you love it or hate it, or somewhere in between. And if you haven't ridden it, I hope I inspired you a little tiny bit to try to make a trip to Japan. Get to this park that has some world-class extreme coasters, and let you know this should not disappoint you. It definitely did not disappoint me. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, and if you're new here and love coasters, please give me a sub. Also, check out my second channel, where I post copyright-free off-ride footage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.